IP and trademarks is a really big topic, but as you're starting your business, you want to ensure you get the foundations right. So the first thing that will probably come up is your name. Now, naming your business is a lot of fun, but it's also really difficult because all of the good names are taken. No, that's not true, but certainly most of the words that you typically use, they've probably been trademarked for some purpose or other. Now, trademarks typically only matter if they are in your class. So you could have a boat manufacturing company called Just Waves, and then you could also have a hairdressing company called Just Waves. It is the difficulty gets when the names are too similar and the classes in which they are registered are too similar. It gets complicated, but suffice to say, if you want to be really safe, making up a word is always the best way to go. So if you are naming your business and you want to check whether it's something you can have, first things first is check your local country's trademark database. Searches are usually free. The next step is to search further afield. Now, my first search, I literally just used Google. Can I find another company out there with that name? Can I find a company that has that name as their domain? Because that's a really good sign that it's already taken. This is especially important, or really only important, for those who want to eventually export. Don't just think about your home market. When I started Atique, it actually started as a company called Sorbet. Now, Sorbet is obviously a fairly common name. And when we got to about 2015, we were starting to think about exporting offshore. I couldn't take the name Sorbet. Unfortunately, I had to change it to Atique, which, arguably fits better anyway. But it was a bit of a drama. So you really want to get this bit right first. Now, once you've got a name, you're happy with it, you can file your own trademarks. Now, this is where money and budget comes down to it, because it is potentially better if you can get a lawyer to do so. However, I actually filed my own trademarks and it was okay in the long run. So there we go. There is something called the Madrid Protocol, where if you register your trademark in certain countries, with New Zealand being one of them, you can then use that date as the date you register in other countries. And it just makes the process a lot simpler. Unfortunately, not every country is part of that, but it is something to either look into yourself or talk to a lawyer about. You can also trademark things like your logo, your icon if you have one, if you've got a phrase or a catchphrase or a byline, you can trademark all of those. But just have a think about what actually matters, because you don't have to do it all at once. But you do want to make sure that you do this properly, get some guidance, and ensure that you're protected. Because unfortunately, there are companies out there who will try and rip you off. It has happened to us a multitude of times. Other options are, of course, patents. If you have invented something that's really different, it is potentially worth pursuing a patent. There are famous people out there who will say a patent is a one-way ticket to a lawsuit, and certainly that's arguable. It is worth thinking about. But again, if you are looking at patents, you really, really want to seek legal advice and make sure that's done properly. I don't believe that is something you can do yourself very easily. Of course, you want to protect your IP because it is your brand. We're going to be talking a lot about how to build a brand. Of course, if you build something and unfortunately you actually can't use it in the long run or in a different market, you've lost a lot of that. So you really do want to make sure that you take care with this first step, even though it might seem a little expensive and a little boring. Take it from someone who learned the hard way. I've been involved with quite a few IP disputes now. We have unfortunately had to send cease and desist to people who are infringing on our IP, and they're usually resolved amicably, but you do usually have to get lawyers involved. So you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. There are some very helpful links in the text below for you.